I'm on a march to startup. I'm dropping out of my PhD in about 5 months, and I want to focus on my entrepreneurial interests. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm defining it for myself in front of everyone and taking a few extra steps along the way. So, current focuses right now are one, developing a curated list of resources I'm going to use and reference when I'm starting up, and two, starting to freelance. So, um, starting to freelance. So that initially this is like the scoping. So what are other freelancers doing, and what sort of project should I take on to develop my portfolio? And yeah, so this is like an overview of tasks I'm gonna do to start up. But specifically today, we're gonna focus on finishing the curated list. So websites, people, books, and then use ChatGPT to brainstorm a little bit and see if there's any other resources I'm missing out on. Because this isn't just supposed to be things that you can consume, but also like programs and things like that that I can be a part of. So, let's see, review resources. Yeah, so I think after all this, I should actually have finalize relevant list. And then this, we'll just have a due date of the 22nd. Great. So yeah, let's start on the curated list, and then after that, we'll work on some freelancing stuff. Where's the music? I'm actually thinking I'm gonna remove the music. I hate this music. It's just something to fill the silence. Um, yeah. But I want to listen to my own music, but if I'm sharing screen and sharing sometimes videos we go over, I can't share audio. So I'm not exactly sure how I'll do that. Probably once I learn more about audio MIDI and all that stuff. Oh. So many. Okay, I'll just whatever. So all businesses, let's see what's on here. This is a finance page, but let's see, they have experts. So I guess these are the people publishing on here. Getting started. So it looks like it's based on different topics. And it just seems it's not necessarily I don't know if curated is. It is curated to some extent, but I think what I did like though was how maybe not comprehensive, but how thoughtful the some of these articles were. I don't remember which one I clicked on, but I clicked on it and it had like a list of things to consider when you're starting up a business, and it made me think some of these I didn't quite think about, and then it also had like a complete list that I'm trying to make as well. So using this would have been much simpler. Well, actually, let me look at business resources. Ooh. Business plan, incorporation, independent contractors. Nice. Yeah, I think it was might have been something like this. Nice. how do I say this? Provides articles on different topics in business. Articles are well together, range from concrete to resources are great. For example, business resources includes lots of templates and guides. What's a solid? 4, I'll just do 4 out of 5. Now this website, let's see. Building a startup is hard. Start here. Search for product market. Yeah, prove the value, prove it can be sold. Yeah. Find repeatable sales motions. Seems good. Oh, lots of videos.
Coming up with, then we'll absolute very end of the process when it's time to scale the business.
What are some metrics? Cash flow, scaling. Yeah, this is what we were just on. What about sales and marketing? Choose to go to market. It's very similar to Steve Blank's. But a little bit more condensed. Yeah, I'll just say that in the rating. Provides a guide and articles on starting up. Equals to cover topics blank does not, such as fund raising and marketing. Great. Next one. This one actually seemed interesting because it's a toolkit, like everything from launching, incorporating, running, managing taxes, staying compliant. All the good topics. Running your business, learning about doing as. How to open. Nice. Let's go through one of these, see what it looks like. Well, let's check this out first. Yeah. Nice. This is actually very thorough. Like I might not even write my guide and just reference this one. Let's see, running your business. Doing business as... What is this? Okay, anyways. Let me just double check how to open a start. Can I use a business that exists in the state? How to start a business? Mark business plan, create form LLC or incorporate. Yeah, very solid. Saw a bug. Okay, anyways. Provides guides on all areas of business. It's business owner toolkit. Also seems provide information on other areas such as legal. Let's just do 4 out of 5 because this was actually a really solid one. On par with all business. So his focus is Web3. What exactly? Oh. So I'm gonna bookmark this. Collected, why Web3 matters, why decentralization matters. What's next in computing? Full stack startups. What's this about? Many have tried. Is that it? Wrote a book. Write your own computers that make. Oh, and it seems that he has stopped, or he's very inconsistent. Yeah, no, I think this one, I'm fine without this one. Well found. This is about, I guess, startups and job seekers. I think how I was led to this one was maybe they acquired a company that directed me to this site now. Yeah, so this is more like a hiring platform. Is this? I'll put it there, but it's not relevant now. Angel list. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Startup job, startup hiring platform. I think maybe this would be relevant in, let's say, like 8 months to a year once I sort of stabilized myself. So for now, we'll do 2 out of 5. Relevant once I find an idea worth going on. Venture hacks, how to get rich. Is that just the front page? How to write, like, read it on a phone. Wait, what? Oh, what? I thought this was like a list of things to do on day 1. Oh, this is all angel list stuff. Angels. How do I find a lead investor? This seems pretty solid. Provides let's stop using provides. Offers articles cover entire startup topics. Who's writing it though? We're co-founders of. Oh, okay. Covers the entire spectrum of startup topics. By two co-founders. This one will say like 3 out of 5. It was good. This one, Startup Lessons Learned by Eric. Oh, so he's the one that wrote the Lean Startup. Letter to Our Future. So he has a connection to Steve Blank because they both worked at IMVU. Where's like a list of popular articles? Popular one. Minimum about, what is customer development? Nice. So this one I think is solid enough given his background. Post cover. Three out of 5. Where is it? Let's see. Yes, all the other businesses, all the other websites, I mean. 3 out of 5 is actually solid in comparison to some of the other ones, yeah. This one, entrepreneurs, Kaufman, develop ideas, get started. Let's see what crafting article, art of conversation article. This is Steve Blank. Startup board, PowerPoint presentations, intellectual property. Let's start here. Oh, nice. Board working on tools. I like how modular. How they separate into modules. And should I co-found with whom? Building your startup, balancing, building your team, carrying out your idea. That's actually very solid. Very easy to use. Or let's see topics. Oh, is this topics? Oh, yeah. All state. I guess, yeah, which is, yeah, good enough. 3 stages before, starting, and after. Or in the development. Has modules like structured like a course on developing an idea. Started with a startup and growing. This will do like 3.25 out of 5. Because everything else is great, but it just takes some time to go through and organize. And if it's something like this where you can just follow it step by step, it just makes it so much easier. Ooh, this seems useful. Explore the book, forming, structuring, accelerators. I might actually buy the book. The author, BA, MA. Okay, Juris. So he has separate blogs, and let's check glossary first. Cool. So glossary. And blog. So categories, let's say, what are we interested in? We are curious about, what's this? Startup issues. That's straight to the point. I like it. Let's see, venture capital. It's very solid, and I think his book might actually be like, yeah, his book would be like a great starting point on this topic of legal, and then going through his blog occasionally. So what I'll write here is covers startup law topics. Started. And I think what separates this one from all the previous things we've seen about like legal is this more or less is like comprehensive, and it offers it in a book. And then for anything else to follow up on, lots of articles. So I would consider buying the book. What stage is this good for? Beginning to, yeah, all the way until it's in the billions, because then at that point, you know for sure you've made your money. So there's that. But like, at what stage is it most useful for? I want to say even, hmm, I think depends on your connections, because if you don't have an attorney, you're not, you don't have like mentors who have been through it, then it's very easy to be screwed over, I think. At least I'm always pessimistic. So just prepare for the worst. I would consider buying the book, reading, let's see, during year one, and checking blog every so often. I will probably after reading the book, I'm actually going to need to adjust these, and I'll probably use ChatGPT to help me fix up like what the website is about, but this is also like a checklist for myself. After reading the book, find like 5 most important articles on each topic, and then scroll through blog every so often for updates. Relevance rating, let's do like 3.25. Now on startups, what's this about? Co-founded HubSpot is not a public company. Angel invested. Seems like he's a billionaire. Let me pause here real quick. And I was right, he is a billionaire. So anyways, blogs. Happy investor, most popular. Just one. Startup advice. Why your startup should ignore your for now. Yeah. Yeah, this is more in the vein of thoughts. Oh, what went to plan, what certainly didn't. That seems interesting. Community. So I think what I'd give this, it seems more just like for scrolling in. I guess if, I don't know, this seems interesting. Frameworks to become a billionaire. Has a billionaire. Are interesting. Maybe through 4. This one is similar to around 2.5. 2.5. I want to say 2.25, but at this point, 0.25 doesn't really matter. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Imagine being a team in this class and then probably presenting to some of these big names so that they can think about it and get some ideas. Yeah, so I need to save the scrolling for later. I know it's how big his site is, or how important it is, how much value it provides. This is an OG in modern startup methodology. This website provides links to all of his resources. A lot of it is online. Also has a blog. Four to 5. So AVC, what's this about? So he's a VC. Weekday right here, every weekday and sometimes. So he's writing every single. No, not every day. But anyways. Oh, did he just stop? No, he has some days off. Must read. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily taking a long-term view on Web3. Let me read this one. Is they move to it before locking down strategy. The way I think about this is get the product right first, then lock down then figure out the business model. Start thinking about the business model. Okay, I admit, pretty good. We'll keep it. Blog posts from a VC. Somewhere interesting, scroll for 30 minutes. Yeah. So what's this one about? Software developer. Top 10. Stack Overflow. Grant. Let me go through this. I don't think I'd want to include it, but maybe I'm not just seeing it yet. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, let's go through a strategy letter. Building company. Okay, so some of them are good, like this one. But does he have like a... Does he tag it? White testers. Okay, actually let me, as opposed to CEO, let's do startup founder. And here. And then let's go startup founder. The eternal... Is that it? VC. about the process. Startup.com. I'm actually write that down. Cool. Oh, did I just... Yeah, that was fine. So Seth Godin. What are his topics? Because I know he talks about freelancing, but I don't know. It almost looks like he's like a Tim Ferriss of sorts, where he just talks about self-improvement in all different areas. Okay, of all time, NFTs, world's worst boss, thing, top 5%. Is that it? 1 out of 20 share the biggest prizes go to... I like that. Yeah, I'll add it, but it's not necessarily relevant now. Let's use startup. How do I want to see all the things in the school, not just Seth Godin's. Okay, so it's on Apple Podcast, which is okay. So I think I'll do the same thing as with the other ones that have this. Some are interesting. Blog posts from... Some are interesting, scroll through to pick most important ones, relevance rating. Yeah, that's fine. Great. So now we finished all of that. Yeah, I'll find that. So now that we finished all of that, next point is, finishing these as well. Yeah, let me open up all these first. Okay, so starting with investor.com. crypto.com, crypto assets, retirement toolkit. Yeah, so this looks more like for the everyday person to invest. And I'm actually curious if the SEC maybe. Education, let's see. Let's do small business raising capital. Grants, loans, capital from investors. Is actually useful. So let's do SEC. And then we also had investor.gov. But this isn't necessarily for, let's see, did I have SEC before? No, I didn't. Yeah, so investor.gov isn't necessarily for targeted at people, common that want to invest. Relevance rating, I'll just say 1.5 out of 5. Not necessarily now that I would use this. Maybe come back to once I have money that I want to invest. For now, not useful in starting a business. What about this one? For researchers, for youth. Ooh, what's this about? Tips for searching the clearinghouse. How housing survey of that could be useful for research, right? Let's see, tools, calculators, budgeting, checklists. Let's see, checklists. Safeguarding your valuable activity. Oh. Prepare your finances for an emergency. Yeah, so I think like this is all useful. And it's not necessarily applicable for starting a business, but it is for lots of other things. Oh, let's see here actually. So young entrepreneurs course. Not a good look so far. Bogus starting an internet business. I'll just ignore it. It seemed like they're mostly just referencing 2 other websites anyways. And so we checked all these. Yeah, this is the one we just went through. Yeah, so, oh, let's see this actually. Crap. Micro cap. Wait, no, yeah, it's for investors. SEC. This is more about capital raising, investor education. Business resources seem useful. Relevance rating 4 to 5. Now, okay, so USA.gov, find unclaimed money, locate affordable rental housing, government assistance, complaints, housing help, education, legal issues. Yeah, I think I added this one actually. This is small business. USA.gov. USA, yeah. So we added this one. And then FINRA. What is this? Compliance tools. About. Protecting investors and safeguarding manner. I don't know what this is. Investing investors. Yeah, I'll leave it out for now. I'm not sure what it is. It seems like it's targeted towards investors. But I don't know what sort of investors. Yeah. Okay, so we finished the website. What did I type? So we have websites done. Now we just need to go through people, books, and ChatGPT. Websites, Reddit. Oh, and eventually we'll do TV shows and movies. people. All right, I'm gonna take a break. We've been at it for an hour. We'll go through people. Make a list of, and by people, these are essentially people that inspire me and that I can learn from. So these are people that whatever interview they have, I'm gonna watch it. Whatever autobiographies and biographies are out there, I'm gonna read them. Any documentaries, just completely understand the person, how they approach things, and really get an insight into their mind and pick up what I want to pick up, and maybe their flaws not pick up. All right. Okay. So procrastinating a bit, but we'll get to it. Give me some good music. Better than the other ones. Okay. So this list of people is meant to range a broad range abroad. This list of people is meant to cover a broad range of qualities and characteristics. So the number one being that we want the person to be, well, wealthy. The second one being innovative and impactful. So just starting off, for sure, have to include Elon Musk. I don't care necessarily. Let me phrase that better. The good he has done is my focus. His rise from being from college student to like not creating Tesla, but like, I don't want to say where he is now, because now is sort of controversial. What I'm most interested in is his discipline, work ethic, the good that he has brought, and then also just thinking about the bad, because he does have his flaws and faults, and we need to consider that I need to consider that in how I want to develop myself, and what I want to learn from him, which can be the good and the bad. So, number one. And then after that is where we start to have questions. So actually, let me pause it. Okay. So we'll have, let's see. We'll have to do like a well-rounded approach. So there's billionaires, there's Forbes 400, all-time richest, impactful people in history, is most impactful. Let's open it. Let's see what it says. But this is time. Where is... There's like a list that lets people, but are people a good source? Yeah, so we'll just go with this list. Biggest invent. And this is just meant to be a list of people that, for now, the immediate future, have a very concise list. Maybe over my lifetime we'll probably expand it out. Let's see. So I think, strictly from an inventor standpoint, I'd probably have Nikola Tesla and either Leonardo or Thomas Edison. The telephone. Ooh, refrigerators. Wait, what? Oh, 19. Huh. Nikola Tesla. The Wright brothers. Okay, so for inventors, I think the ones that just stick to mind, I'll go with Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla. But I'm curious, like statistically, who's actually the biggest inventor? Because he's the most famous, but does that mean that he was one of the most prolific? Well, I mean, it says he was granted 1,000 patents. That's over 3 a year. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll go with those two for now. So that's from an investor standpoint. Now let's do significant figures. Napoleon, war. Muhammad, I'm not sure where Muhammad is from. I think religion. I know religion, but Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Alexander the Great. This is mostly March to Startup. So how do we who should we look up to for March to Startup in terms of influence? Abraham Lincoln, George Washington are solid leaders. Alexander the Great, another solid leader that I know of. Yeah, I'll have those two. So from a leader's perspective, we have Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and Alexander the Great. So that's from leadership. This is from impact, or not necessarily impact, but innovation. And from wealth. Oh, the Titans. So we have John Rockefeller. We have Andrew Carnegie, Vanderbilt. I'm just writing these down, but I'm not sure. because this is from industry. Industry is a ways back. So Richard Mellon. I'm not familiar with some of these other names. Sam Walton. Henry Ford. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is from industry. And Bill Gates. I know Warren Buffett. And then modern is like Steve Jobs. And then even more modern than them is Elon Musk. And so let's see. Modern is like Jeff Bezos. And the reason that I think I'm more focused on these is because they're tech. Jeff Bezos is tech, Elon is tech, Larry Ellison is tech, Warren Buffett investing. Maybe eventually in the future. Warren Buffett. Once I to investing, if I ever do. So if I transition to investing once I'm wealthy, look up to Warren Buffett for inspiration. Larry Page, Google, Sergey Brin, Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, so those are. Should I? Larry Page, Sergey Brin, but let's do and. So I already had Bill Gates, Henry Ford. So Jensen would actually be modern. Jeff, Steve Jobs, yeah. Yeah, so this is just confirming what I've already had. And Sergey Brin. I don't know if I want to do Mark Zuckerberg. Maybe. He's having like a good arc, but I'm so unsure about him. Bloomberg, we know what he's for. Walton. What's Coach? I don't know. It seemed like they just do a lot of things. Jensen, solid. Yeah, so that's a very solid list that I have so far. And then real-time billionaires. Let's see what's here. Elon Zuck. Jeff Ellison. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Larry Page, Steve Ballmer, Brin. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot more Indian billionaires coming up. Probably Chinese as well. Yeah, I think the list I have right now is good. Wait, what was this? Coach, TikTok. Yeah, solid list. So we actually let me double check. Larry, Warren, Bill Gates, Larry Page. Mark isn't on here though. Yeah, and to some extent, I don't want to include social media because it's kind of different. Social media is different, and I don't want to have a social media. How do you say? My focus isn't on social media. Old school industry, modern industry, and modern tech. Solid list. So let's actually look up this one. Oh, Airbnb. Let's just go with this. Yeah, I think that's fine. So, Airbnb. How do we feel about Airbnb? No, I don't think I have to do more of an in-depth analysis because I know what he did. Richard Branson. Almost want to stick him in there because his was a little bit diversified, right? Yeah. Let's add him. His story is a little bit more diversified. Virgin, I think, had like lots of different areas of focus, so we'll include Richard. Sarah Blakely with Spanx. I like her founding story. Only 1 billion. I would like to see her company because I think Kim. Yeah, I would like to see her company be worth more than like all of the Kardashians network put together. Yeah. Richard Branson, yeah. So these are people I'm gonna initially look up to, and read about. So who should I start with? If I start with Elon, he just had his biography released. So he has like 2 biographies, lots of interviews. Jeff Bezos, I don't know if he has any biographies. But I know he has the Amazon book that's out. He has some interviews, maybe not quite as much as Elon. Yeah, because Jeff was focused more on work, and only now does he care, I think, more about his public perception. Larry Ellison, I think he has some interviews. Actually, let's do a search to make our decision. Bezos biography. Yeah, so he has 3 books, which is pretty good. Elon Musk. So he has this one, this one. I'm not sure about this one. And then let's also consider YouTube. Jeff Bezos interview. Lots of interviews. I almost want to focus on Jeff because he is a lot more professional. Elon is a lot more, was to me a lot more personable. But now he's sort of getting in his own way. Oh, what? That interview. I think I might cover Jeff first because then I'll sort of have an understanding of what to look for and be prepared to walk my way gracefully around a lot of the stuff that Elon gets himself involved in. Yeah, and he has a lot of interviews now. Okay, so that's Elon and Jeff. Let's look Ariel's. She has a lot less. Yeah. YouTube, Larry Ellison interview. I don't know what to make of it, and I don't know what the best strategy to approach this is. Yeah, so they don't have a lot, and they're to learn enough about them. It would be more of learning about Google, but Google itself is huge and modern. So I'd probably have to find books about Google. So that's what about Jensen? Does Jensen have any? I'd be surprised if he doesn't have any biographies, but he's not that much in the press. I kind of want to start with either Jensen or Steve Jobs. Bill Gates. No, not interview. Come on, make a decision. Make a decision. Elon Musk. Big name. A lot of positive impact. Super rich. Good leadership, good strategy. Rich. Well, they're all rich. Let's see. Visionary. This one, good leadership, visionary. So I think these are my top 3. And I just thought about them. This one, James Dyson. He's a mix of engineer and wealthy CEO, billionaire. And that's sort of the trade-off I want to meet. I don't necessarily, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be CEO all the time or want to focus on engineering. Elon Musk had some engineering, but it seems like now he's kind of not necessarily there anymore. Let me look up James. Maybe James is also a good one to start from. Oh, this is such a hard decision. Might have to pause it so I don't show how indecisive I can be. Let's see. Because my plan is this is going to be the person I focus on for the next 3-4 months. We're watching every interview, reading every book, looking up everything I can about them, learning about the companies they started. So it's going to be a commitment to one person, and that person could probably impact the way I approach things, which is going to just impact the rest of my life, the path I take. And so for me, it is sort of a big decision. I kind of like these two, or James Dyson actually as well, but his is not necessarily tech. What did Larry Ellison do? So basically he made like a database project. Okay, so I think these are the top 5 that I would start with. Elon. Lots of good impact. Lately been going off the rails. Just don't watch current interviews. Yeah, set a cutoff date for when he was at sort of his peak in productivity. There's that. Jeff Bezos, only thing he did was Amazon, but he transitioned Amazon from selling books to all these different areas. Sure. Jensen, NVIDIA, GPUs, packages, and that sort of thing with their GPUs, make it accessible for AI, computing. That's more hardware. Yeah, so maybe, and then Steve Jobs is also kind of hardware, but he does have not the graphic design, but design. James Dyson is also hardware, but he also has design and engineering. Engineering being a good one. Good skill that I might aim for. But I don't have capital. Yeah. So maybe not those two to start with. Elon and Jeff approach is most accessible to me at the moment because it's software. Elon started software, Jeff started software. Larry Ellison, maybe he's worth considering. Because he also started software, and in that sense, Larry Page, Sergey Brin. Yeah, and Steve Jobs is more for leadership and vision. Yeah, so let's start either with Elon and Jeff. Let me think about this for a second, actually. Okay, I think I'll start with Jeff. Jeff has like a good, at least in my opinion, like a strong record in leadership and strategy and vision. And then other things I'm not mentioning, but he started with software, so there's Amazon. He is wealthy, which is again a prerequisite for this list. And then the other thing that I'm considering is he has he has less content out there. So the ability for me to go through Jeff's books or biographies, interviews, books on Amazon, probably going to take me less time. If I start with Elon, let's say that could take me like 6 months. By the time I get to Jeff, I might have started something, gained momentum, may not have time to go through Jeff. But if I start with Jeff, let's say it takes me 3 months, and then I can go into Elon right as things are picking up, have the best of both. Yeah, and then at that point, I think this list might take me like 2 or 3 years to go through. But then, yeah, maybe quicker. 2 to 3 years for everyone on here to really understand everything. Because once I go through like the first 2 people, I already understand what to look for. Can sort of gloss over the other things. Yeah. So first one, starting off with Jeff. Let's number this. And then Steve, Jensen. Yeah, that's a solid list. And number. And then after that, I'd have to decide as we go. Maybe Richard Branson, maybe Bill Gates. Yeah, the other ones I don't know. We'll just start with these first, modern. And yeah, go to those eventually. So that's a solid list for me to go through. So now we've been through people. People is done. Now let's go through books. Books. I know some people might think, oh, we're only focused on entrepreneurship and we need discipline. But I think like there's no way you're working 12 hours straight. Like you're going to be taking breaks, you're going to be pooping, you're going to be eating. So movies occasionally. Maybe you need to pick up some momentum, so having some breaks. Longer breaks when you first start watching some movies, that's fine. So let's start it like tomorrow and finish it on the 13th. So books. Okay, so I'm going to actually rank these, but first let's add all the books here. Okay, so yeah, so we have a solid list of books to start from. Didn't show everything, but essentially I have a bunch of business books that I need to go through, and I also have a bunch of videos, links that will decide on the top like 5 books to start with. And keep in mind, we're focusing on starting businesses, not necessarily the right mindset, not necessarily self-improvement. Books on how do I start a business now.
I challenge anybody to do the following. Take
So that might actually be like something to do in the future.
To do the following. Take 4 subjects. Sales, negotiation, human nature, and money. 4 topics. Read every book on negotiation. Above 400 reviews on Amazon. That's 4+ stars. Read any book.
Books above 400 reviews and 4+ stars. So I might do that challenge, but we'll see. If things pick up, probably won't have time.
Book that's about 4-star, 25 of them, 400 reviews on sale. Read any book on human nature, psychology, persuasion, any of that stuff. Then read any book on money with 400+ reviews. Read Principle, things like that by Dalio, by Buffett. And for 2 years, obsess over doing that. For 2 years, you do it, you come back to me, nothing changed, I'll fund the whole cost that you had here. A matter of fact, you won't even come back to me because you forgot about it because you're killing the marketplace. The market rewards people who... Let's talk about you. What book to recommend here? A couple things. Number 1, must read Blue Ocean Strategy. If you've never...
Strategy.
Never read it? It's got to be at the top of your list. Blue Ocean Strategy. They've sold 4.5 million copies, and it tells you how to differentiate yourself from everybody else in roofing. Specific formula on how to do it. So Blue Ocean Strategy is number 1. I would probably suggest you read Power versus Force, because sometimes founders and CEOs make the mistake of feeling sorry for themselves, and it's a problem if you feel sorry for yourself. So this book, Power versus Force, really challenges you to look at people in a different way, look at yourself in a different way. So Blue Ocean Strategy, Power versus Force. Today I would probably add Unreasonable Hospitality to it. I would add Crucial Conversations to it today.
I don't know about Crucial. I think that's important, but
And if you
I don't know if
like
it's immediately
marketing,
important.
kind of want to figure out a way to even be more competitive, I would read a book called Positioning.
Positioning. I don't know where positioning would go. Positioning. And then we have here his list, Law of Success, Great Business Teams, Power, the Lean Startup. So that's the kinds of things we're interested in. The Lean Startup, Road to Freedom, how to win the fight for free enterprise, Corporate Life Cycle Strategies. Maybe how to win friends and influence people. This is important, I think, for networking and getting people on board. So that's probably important. Great Business Scene is probably going to come out in the future. Come up in the future. No. By Howard. Selling, how to master the art of selling. That's probably going to be important in the future. The Art of War, The Greatest Salesman. Start with the why. Yeah, so a lot of good ones. Books we can rank through, plow through a lot quicker. So let's see here.
Are you a big reader? Yes.
I would say Hypomanic Edge. It's not a famous book. Made me realize it's okay that I'm wired the way I am. Hypomanic is kind of means I individuals are what they feel. It talks about craziness in business and massive success, something like that. It's an older book. I like Barbarians to Bureaucrats. Really done finding good, but he talks about the evolution of every society that they go through with the prophet, the barbarian, the builder, explorer, administrator, the bureaucrat, aristocrat, and then the sinner who comes to save that society. Fantastic book. I would put 33 strategies to
But this is overall mindset, I think,
phenomenal book.
not necessarily startup.
Blue Ocean strategy on how to separate yourself from the marketplace. If you really want to figure out a way to separate yourself from everybody else, you got to read Blue Ocean. Up to Success, Psycho-Cybernetics, Power versus Survival. One that I just read that I recommend everybody reading is Unreasonable Hospitality by Bill Gadara. Good luck putting that book down. It's incredible.
Are you a big reader?
Yes.
Starting up. Oh, perfect. So starting up, we also have 0 to 1. Maybe E-Myth. The Millionaire Fastlane. Seven-day startup. That seems interesting. Because the aim is just to go through it as quick as possible. For Indie, the Millionaire Fastlane, 0 to 1. Okay, those are some solid ones. For entrepreneurs, this is slightly different. So I'll actually put it before. He has Blue Ocean Strategy, Built to Sell, Competitive Strategy, Multipliers, Positioning, Lean Startup. It's weird that no one has the startup owner's business model generation. That's actually a good one. Yeah, so that's good. And now checking this last list, Made to Stick, E-Myth, Revisited. Actually, let's put Revisited, and we put with, maybe this one. .com secrets. The E-Myth, again the E-Myth. 100 million offers. Yeah, I think that's a good list. Eventually, we'll expand it, but I think once we go through the first few books, no need to like search for every single book and then have a complete plan of every single book. That'll take too much time. So we have that list, and then for my books, what seems interesting? So this is about money, psychology of money. Yeah, so that'll be later, or in parallel. Something I'll do for a separate series. Sam Walton, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Tesla, Edison, Jobs. Oh, I already have a book on Amazon. Cool. This is Facebook, Lincoln. So this is more so leadership and biographies. Here, strategy, the art of business strategy. So this one, maybe this one, but I'm not sure. Genius machine strategy. Yeah, so the rest we already went through. And then here we have Russell Simmons. I don't know if this one would be a good one to start with or if it's more self-improvement. The Thinking Jewish, what was it? The Thinking Jewish Teenager's Guide to Life. Great book. Even if you're not a teenager, very solid. Even if you're not a teenager and you're not Jewish, it's a great book. Leaders Eat Last. Leadership, Small Business Bible. Maybe, okay, let's have like a set of books that we'll skim just to place them because it's hard to place books. Business Bible. We have Entrepreneurship. My book. Because the author just says can't even read it. Yeah, so I'll just put that. Scaling Up, that's future. Leading Change, that seems like once you have a business. Let's see. Mastery, 12 Rules for Life. Winning. Psycho-Cybernetics, Magic Thinking, Maximize Your Potential. Yeah, these are all either self-improvement or once you have like a business. And this is starting from the end. Rainmaking Conversations, Nordstrom Way, Negotiation. So that's a little bit in the future. Selling. Influence. Maybe influence would be a good one to have from the start. Business model, no. Maybe I do want to become articulate or familiar with all the business terms and everything that goes around there. So thinking about that. Networking survival guide, possibly. Guide. All of these books are on selling. And yeah, that's for YouTube. That's for marketing. So these are all important, and all the selling books and marketing. But I don't want to be on the marketing side necessarily. I'll probably have someone on the marketing side help me. So I do want to be familiar with it, but not necessarily that's going to be my focus. Again, this is also when I write down like the quick and easy way to effective speaking. It's more so getting my point across in meetings and pitches and that sort of thing. So we'll see. Yeah, already went through this. Now we have Startup Owner's Manual. Blue Ocean Strategy. Leadership Challenge. Business Model Generation we had here. Let's do Value Proposition Design. Entrepreneurs Handbook. Okay. Okay. Well, let's just write it down first. The art of the start entrepreneurship. Creators Code. Good to Great. Creating a lean culture. Yeah. Okay. So now that we have that in mind, actually let me look for some other books because there's some other ones by Steve Blank that, or the people around Steve Blank that also focus on start. And so those are good ones to have on here. So let me find those. So the only two other books I found were Talking to Humans and The Mom Test. These focus on customer discovery during the startup process, which is one of the first few things to do. So now that we have this, how do we approach it? Okay, so what do we know for sure? What books have we read? The only book I have read that I know is complete from start to finish, lots of information, is a Startup Owner's Manual. Any of these other ones, Art of the Star Entrepreneurs, yeah, I don't really know. So what I'm gonna do is skim all of these. That's gonna be like 10 minutes per book. This is challenge later. And we'll put this challenge in the other as well. And actually, not, since these are in his list, I'll just have this like that. So I'll just skim these. And goal is to select 5. 1, 2, So my first 5 books. Yeah. So I'm going to see which books I don't have. I have this one. This was my book. Have this one. I have this one. I don't know about this one. I have this one. The Lean Startup. I don't know about this one. Crucial Conversations I have. Positioning I don't have. 0 to 1. I don't have this one. Have this one. I don't have this one. I don't have this one. I don't have this one. Have this one. Have this one. Don't have this one. Have that one. Influence. Yup. 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 Yep. Great business teams. Yeah, this actually seems a little bit down the road. Not too far down the road, but far down enough that I should just not include it. Then let's move all of these. So these are ones I need to purchase, and the others I already have. Skim, 5 to 10 minutes, come with 2 to 3 sentences on what it covers. Yeah. Solid start. So today my goal was to finish books, start with ChatGPT, and I was organizing files on my own. So what I think I'll do, I'll order the books offline. We'll go into ChatGPT, start brainstorming, and then there's still enough time that we'll start looking at freelance developers, seeing what kind of portfolios do they have, what skills do they have, how much do they charge. Because my goal is to focus on a set of skills that will bring me money, that I can be good enough on, and that there's enough demand. For example, I don't know that I'd want to focus on WordPress. That's not necessarily what I'm interested in, but I don't know how much demand there is. And yeah, so actually I'll need to think about it too. But we'll look at freelance developers. I already started making a list of skills that I might want to have at first and that I can also freelance with. So we just need to narrow that down. I started creating profiles, but I'll continue to work on that today. And then once we have all that, start making a list of projects that I'm going to work on and sell, as well as use for my portfolio as a freelancer. So books need to finish. I'll write that down in my to-dos. And let's go to ChatGPT. But first, a break. Alright, so let's get started with ChatGPT. So that is, what the, yeah. Right here in ChatGPT. Which window is it? Launch a new browser. Okay, found it. Great. So how do we approach this? What do we do? What was the reason for it again? Oh, resources. Great. Hey chat, I am trying to make a list of resources for startups. This is focused on just the let's maybe not necessarily just the startup phase, because if it was, then it would be customer discovery. And ideation. But the main idea is also like, even before that, there's some strategy. Do you continue your job? Is there an incubator, accelerator that you can quit and then jump right into it? So, not sure that I want to narrow it down just to starting. Let's articulate that for the initial phase. However, it's okay to include, let's see, resources that might impact for example, books, courses, channels, podcasts, sites, shows and movies, and people to study. However, and this is actually not well articulated, but ChatGPT understands me. However, I have not included example events and raters, what other sorts of resources like this am I not considering? Yeah, so let's see what it says. Kind of a bad question, but online communities. Yeah, that's well, I did have that in websites for online communities. What about networking groups? That's a good thing to consider. Networking groups. Is there like mentorship programs? Let's see. Okay, let me just read through it actually. Mentorship programs, organizations, and platforms that provide mentorship opportunities and advice to new startup founders. Competitions and hackathons. I would even say competitions and hackathons come before mentorship programs, investor networks, okay, let me keep reading this. I have a tendency to want to skip ahead. Early stage startups, legal and financial advisory services. Yeah. Business plan and pitch deck resources. Yeah, so we have that. We're covering this portion through my freelancing, which it works in two ways. Because I'm freelancing, I also get an insight into what freelancers are going to be good hires, at least initially, to develop whatever I'm working on. So from this, what am I taking away? Networking, but for what? I don't know. So we'll leave out networking for now because I have no insight into it, so I won't try to pretend that I know what's going to work there. Mentorship programs I'm also not familiar with, and in fact I'd even say it comes after accelerators and incubators. But didn't even talk about this. Where would you put incubators into this? Yeah, so I would go more towards here. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And competitions and hackathons. And business plan, pitch deck. Yeah, those are from the websites we found. Those have lots of them. Missed it. Competitions and hackathons. Yeah. Legal and financial. So this is something we need to consider as well. Support programs. Yeah, this is something I want to. Through all the government websites we found, this is what I hope to look into more about grants they offer, support programs, co-working spaces. This might be something I look forward a little bit down the road. This I'm not too sure. But yeah, useful enough. And I'm getting an insight into online market spaces and platforms. So this is going to be a little bit down the road as I learn more about it. Yeah, so this is a very solid list. So what is the order though? First you need an idea. So you go to competitions and hackathons. And okay, so even before an idea, or even before you have a prototype, you, I guess, want to be familiar with the trends. So you will want tech and business news platforms. Once you have the idea, you want to go to competitions and hackathons. And as you're starting to gain momentum, I would say this is sort of mixed for me between starting up, having a legal base, having a business entity which investors can invest into. Yeah, so I would put that before investor networks. Co-working spaces. This is probably only going to be once you have funding or you have money coming in. So that would be, I'd just put that after investor networks. And then online marketplaces and platforms. So I would put this at the beginning, when you're generating your idea. So this would be maybe even before this. Yeah. You need to develop something, you go to competitions and hackathons. So we finished people. We need to work on TV shows, we need to work on books. And then we also need to work on all these other ones. So tech and business news platforms. Yeah, I think I'll skip that for now. We're learning this on the side. Competitions and hackathons. I don't necessarily have an idea right now. Yeah, so these other ones are things I guess in the future, but for now it's not necessarily like things I can act on. Initial investment of, wow. Nice. Okay, so let me save this. Ah, what's this about? Expertise. Yeah, so this is more so like maybe you have some experience. And that would be more, I would probably apply to this once I have some like traction. But it's good to know that this exists. Cool. So let's build something. Let's get traction. So I've done that. Help me immediately start up and get funding. Start ideation, low hanging fruit, make a timeline. Yeah, so this one was just for resources. Can you give me a timeline-ish list of what resources are needed when? Typically books, YouTube are great for, are immediately useful for ideation, but things like co-working spaces are not needed until a team is formed, which likely until so books, podcasts, courses. Once you have the idea and you're validating it, oh yeah, that makes sense. Networking, mentors, competitions, business plan. Pre-launch, online market. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Productivity. Yeah. Then there's funding, and then there's launching. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Advanced courses. So let's actually follow that. To ongoing development. And then here we have books, courses, websites. That is better because then we can separate what courses are immediate, what courses, channels, websites, podcasts are helpful at which phases, because I did mention some are not helpful now, but they would be in the future. This music is killing my energy. I think I'm going to work offline. Just organize this list so I can change the music and actually listen to something nice. Yeah, I'll organize this list. Okay, let me just copy and paste it. No. How I want these to look. So I can technically say I finished ChatGPT. Now I just need to organize it. And that'll be during the finalized relevant list. Finalized or because now that I'm doing it in stages, I don't have any insight into basically up until this. No. These two, I have a lot of insight. I have insight into having an idea, interviewing customers, getting mentors, going to competitions, having a pitch deck. I've pitched. But I don't have any insight into pre-launching. Some into team building, but only from an academic perspective, not from hiring people or giving out like paying people, that sort of thing. I don't have any insight, and anything else that goes there. So no insight into. I'll just note that down, but what I can write about is the first two stages. And yeah, so I just need to finish books and people. No, wait, people I finished. Books and TV shows. Cool. Yeah, so offline, what I need to do. Finish this, finish that. Here I need to order, skim what I have. And TV shows and movies. And once I finish that, then do this. Okay, I'll actually probably do this first. I want to get to building, not continue to put it off. My brain's just, the cycles are slower. Yeah. I'll do it offline. Point being, offline, I will be looking at other resources and starting to finalize my plan for freelancing. That's my goal offline. And yeah, that's it. So today, recapping what I've done. Every video, planning to recap the last 5 minutes, talk about what I did for the day. So there is 2 things to do today. And I only did one online. Other one I'm going to do offline. So I want to finish a curated list of resources for people that want to start up. And for now, the list is more so for me to reference and use during my startup journey, but I can imagine that it is going to be helpful, so I'm just going to publish it once I have like a stable version, but essentially what that list is I'm breaking down the startup process for all the different phases. First phase, ideation, making a product. Second stage, planning and validation. So once you have an idea, how do you know that it's worth pursuing? Then pre-launching and building a team. So you're basically building up what you need to make the idea. Then you're getting funding. Then you're launching and growing. And then you need to scale as a company. Well, ongoing development. I don't know quite where ongoing development goes, but those are the 6 stages. Could be 5. And now for each stage, I'm trying to make a list of resources so that those resources include books, courses, YouTube channels, podcasts, websites, TV shows and movies, people, and lots of other things. Now, the 2 stages that I have insight into are the ideation phase and the planning and validation phase. So this list is first just going to have resources for those 2 phases. For the later phases, I'll fill them in as I go. And so today, finished looking at websites, finished making a list of people that I look up to, that I am just going to do a complete dive into and really understand how they went from having an idea to where they are now. Ran this through ChatGPT to help really organize my list and make it usable by myself and by other people later on. What I didn't finish was books. There's lots of books. And some of them I haven't even read. So my plan is to skim them. And with TV shows and movies, sometimes when you're feeling lazy, it can be a good break, being obsessed. So instead of just watching social media and whatever, put on a good like businessy type show. That'll be a good break, or a podcast. And yeah, so that was mainly what I worked on today. What I will work on offline is freelancing. So what kind of developers are there? What skills do they have? How much do they charge? What kind of portfolios do they have? This is going to help me in developing my own freelance profile. So then I'm going to start creating my profiles or accounts on each platform. So this was Freelancer, Fiverr, and Upwork. And once I have sort of that idea of what are they working on, how much do they charge, is there a need for their skills, then make a list of projects that I'm going to undertake and have for my portfolio. And these projects are going to double down as my first few startups. I don't want to say startups because realistically it's an app. Like a startup would be taking it through Y Combinator and then aiming for raising funds and that sort of thing. So these are going to be projects for my portfolio, but I'm also going to charge for them a few dollars. So hopefully that can help me build some capital and pay rent. That'd be nice. Having like 1 or 2 apps that make $50,000, just let's say $50,000 for 1 year. After that, no one hears about them. $50,000 is enough for me to pay like 2 years of rent, which would allow me to focus on my projects for at least a year. Probably get into an incubator accelerator. So that's not bad. That's a good strategy for me. See y'all tomorrow.